Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Bohemian Path Tarot. I am Jen, and I am here with a year ahead 2024 tarot reading for you. I just got a new mic, and so I hope the sound is working. When I recorded Aries, the sound did not work, so fingers crossed. Today we're using the Star Seeker tarot deck. I got it off Etsy. And for what it's worth, I don't get any kickback. I just like this deck, and I think you might like it too. So, Scorpio, in all seriousness, I am going to focus on your energies and the upcoming events, your sort of forecast for 2024 as I shuffle, and then we'll lay out your Celtic cross spread. I'll see you on the other side of the shuffle. Okay, Scorpio, let's lay out your cards and see what 2024 holds for you. We start with the Five of Pentacles, and the challenge is the Empress. The foundation is the High Priestess. Recent past is the Knight of Cups. The more sort of general overview or general vibe for 2024 is the Emperor. And in the future coming up, the Queen of Wands. The advice is Knight of Swords. Environment is the Star. Hopes and fears, the Nine of Pentacles. And your final card is Judgment. That's the final outcome. So let me just adjust this so y'all can see it. So trying to figure out how to get a full Celtic cross in my kind of condensed sort of area. Have we done it? Sorry about that. It's hard for me to see what you see, and just making sure everything is in frame. Maybe a little more. Sorry. Okay, so we start with the Five of Pentacles, and some of you may know that the Five of Pentacles is a time when you're feeling a lack of resources or low on resources. It's the sort of thing where, you know, sometimes it's literally finances. You're in kind of a financial bind, or maybe you overspent for the holidays or haven't budgeted, or an emergency came up, something like that. Sometimes for some folks, this is actually about health and personal stability, a lack of health and security in that way. So sometimes you can work yourself so hard that you work yourself into a cold or other sickness, something like that. Some of you may even be dealing with, you know, the bugaboos that are floating around this time of year. I'm not going to mention the C word, but maybe the other C, not cold, but the other C word. Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. So that's where we find you. That's where this reading opens, in a place where there's a sense of a lack of resources or a burnout. I will say the kind of inherent suggestion with this card is to reach out for help. There are resources. It could be a friend, a family member, a church or spiritual community, even a local government agency. There could be help for you to help, you know, tide you over until you're back into back in the flush. Now, the crossing energy or the challenge is the Empress. Now, the Empress is very healthy and very fertile and very, very abundant. She has everything she needs. So the fact that that's happening in your or appearing in your challenge area over the Five of Pentacles, there's obviously a desire to get back to health and get back to a sense of power and a sense of, kind of owning your own space and being in charge of your like your body, your physical health, your surroundings, your home environment, and just all the stuff that goes along with comfort. The good healthy food and good times with friends and just being abundant in all ways. That's what the Empress wants. So it's a real contrast to where we find yourself, and getting back to the Empress kind of mode or the Empress chapter seems to be the impetus or the work that happens through the rest of the year. The foundation we have here is the High Priestess. So that suggests that you're a very intuitive, very spiritual, wise person who has access to maybe arcane knowledge or healing knowledge or a special ability in that arena. And that since it's falling in your foundation, this can be used to build upon this sense of your spiritual knowledge or healing knowledge. Your wisdom can be used as a launching pad to get you more back to Empress mode. In the recent past, we have the Knight of Cups. Some tarot readers read the Knights as like people in your life, but I see them as a time for you to take action, in a specific area. Here we have the Cups, which is the area of relationships, connectedness, feeling satisfied and valued within your connections, your personal connections. This can be romantic, this can be platonic, this can be family of origin or your chosen family. This could even be connecting with your spiritual side, maybe guides or ancestors. It looks like, since this is falling in your recent past, that you have done a lot of work building connections, building community, building, a way to converse or commune with your loved ones here, or maybe even on the other side. But this seems to be an influence that's going to be waning a little bit as you're moving into, 2024 and what's ahead. The general sort of vibe for your 2024 is the Emperor. Let's get this. So he is the divine counterpart to the Empress, whereas the Empress kind of sits in her throne being just feeling abundant and creative and ready to nurture her garden and nurture her pet projects and be creative and accept invitations. There's a bounty of invitations that comes with Empress. The Emperor is the visionary. He's the one that has a plan for his life, a plan for his world, a plan for his surroundings, for his finances, and he is confident in his capacity to bring his visions to reality, to 3D. Now, I'm just using, old-fashioned gender pronouns. Whatever your gender or gender identity, these character cards are referring to a piece of you, right? So there's a piece of you that's longing for that comfort, that stability, that feeling of abundance and capacity to create and nurture projects and relationships. And there's this other piece that is ready to build a bigger life for yourself. When we're in the Five of Pentacles mode, life can kind of constrict. It can kind of collapse or condense on itself. And the Emperor is ready to build, expand, and make bigger, or as the Simpsons would say, embiggen their world. In the near future, we have the Queen of Wands. And I am interpreting this as a piece of you. There may be a model in your life, a person with Queen of Wands energy that you might want to emulate to step into this mode or chapter. But the Queen of Wands is a very fiery, very passionate leader, creator. She's kind of a diva, but in a good way. She's a diva in that she brings like joy and entertainment and a lightheartedness while leading others, while being a kind of example. And so you're really being called or invited, or, this is the energy that you're going to expand into in the near future to make some of these changes to build the world that the Emperor sees. So if this is somebody else in your life who can be an example or someone you can emulate, this would be someone like an Aries or a Leo or a Sagittarius, someone who displays confidence in front of other people, confidence in their capacity to move forward, someone who might be healthy, athletic. There's very much like a good health, a forward movement through health or activity that goes along with the fire cards or the wand cards. Stepping into this energy by supporting your own confidence in yourself and your capacity to build, by putting yourself in front of others in a confident leadership way or even a teaching way, it's going to like I said, kind of bring you out of this low phase, this lack of resources phase, and into more of that comfort, more of that stability. In the advice area, we have the Knight of Swords. And as I said with the Knight of Cups, I read Knights as the area where you can take action, like literally do the legwork, do the steps, make the changes, right? So swords are about communications, and sometimes it's about the written word or how you express yourself verbally. This is coming up a lot nowadays as social media. How do you brand yourself? How do you get your whatever you're selling or whatever you have available or whatever services you offer? How do you get that out to a public that wants what you're selling or wants what you have? There's also a component of, with the swords, of mediating, teaching, instructing, being discerning, being able to be a discerning ear or helping someone else discern or helping somebody else maybe with advice for relationship issues, or it could even be something like helping them with a contract or taxes, having the capacity to literally take action in this area, to learn more about your social media branding, or to learn more, to find an audience that you can help, that your special skills in communicating, in discernment, are useful, needed. An example. In the environment, gosh, I sure do love this card. We have the Star. And the Star is the keep going, keep at it card. It suggests that better times are ahead. It's your guiding star, right? So it draws you forward. This is not the time to quit. This is the time to keep looking ahead, keep looking forward, and keep trusting in a universe that has your back, in an environment that has your back. There's also an element, if this reverberates with you, an element of connecting with your guides or ancestors, kind of as we spoke of over here, of reaching out to other planes for assistance, for support. Just maybe even little prayers, that sort of manifestation piece in being hopeful and open and seeking advice and welcoming assistance from wherever it comes either, in the three-dimensional world or from the other side, ancestors or guides or whatever. So this is kind of like the flip side, right, of the action piece. This is the manifestation work. And it's also a sign that you're on the right track, that you're on the right path. Now, in the hopes and fears category, this is an interesting card to land here. We have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is usually a card about being so satisfied or so secure in your life that you can, travel or indulge in other hobbies or take classes in kind of new areas, or focus more on home-based hobbies, or turning a home-based side hustle into something that might support you. So the fact that it's showing up in your hopes and fears area, I think what this is referring to is the sort of fear that what you're working towards or what you're building can't actually support you and get you out of the poor kind of lack phase. The fear that what you're working on can only ever be a hobby or can only ever be something that you do for yourself. That's what I think this card is getting at. But that's just a fear. This card isn't saying that's what is happening. This card is saying you're on the right path. This card is saying take action and keep moving forward. Trust in yourself. Have confidence. So recognize that this card is suggesting what you're working on or what you're working towards or what you want to build and bring into three dimensions is not just something you're doing for your own pleasure. There's something bigger. There's something like more shareable. There's a wisdom that you have to offer other folks that is useful, that is healing. In the final outcome card, we have Judgment. And I always see this come along when there's a need for self-acceptance. That doesn't sound like a super exciting card, but when you go through these low times, these low tides, it can be easy to beat yourself up for painting yourself into a corner or taking risks that didn't pan out. And Judgment is reminding you that everything you've gone through made you the person that you are now. And it's beautiful and it's lovable and it is a truth. It's not just something in your head, what you're working on, the efforts you've put out there, the risks you've taken in life. So this card is asking you to accept who you are, accept the skills and gifts and talents you have, accept the mistakes you have made along the way, because all those mistakes have taught you something, right? All of those mistakes have reaffirmed your skill set, have reaffirmed your expertise in an area, right? So, Scorpio, I know you've been through it, and I know you've had hopes of more stability in your life. And 2024 looks like a year when you can get back to building your vision after maybe asking for some help or, sailing through this kind of low time, and keeping in mind that you are a creator, nurturer, builder. The Empress has, I didn't mention this before, the Empress builds within her person, right? She's often depicted pregnant. And the Emperor builds within his world. So there's very much a piece in this reading about building something, about bringing something into the world, something that you have that needs to be birthed, a vision that you have that needs to be built, and have confidence in that vision. Actively seek out an audience. It might be different from from the audience you've been trying to reach in the past. So expand your social media or your reach in how you share yourself and your capacities, even if it's not like a home-based business or a spiritual practice, even if it's, a 9 to 5 job, put more resumes out there for ideal jobs, for jobs that maybe you hadn't tried for before. Talk to other friends in the industry you want to be in, and actively seek out information and ways to advance yourself through communication. Trust in yourself, do your manifestation work, trust in a universe that has your back and that you're on the right path. You're not just kidding yourself. You're not just spinning your wheels. You have been through, you've been forged in fire, my dear. Like the Scorpio is associated with the Phoenix so often. This is a year to rebirth yourself, to feel reborn. It's a really exciting reading, Scorpio. I hope it reverberates with you. I hope it gives you some comfort, some clarity, maybe some options, at least encouragement. In any case, thank you so much for stopping by. Take good care and Happy New Year.